All right. Well, for those of you who have forgotten, because it's been, about an hour now, my name is Liam Hislop. I could tell a story or a joke right now, but if anybody can tell, I'm not that funny, so I'm not going to do that. What I will do is bring up the team that I had the privilege of working with for the last 5 months. Come on up, you guys. This is Wildhouse Games.
Right. Welcome everyone. On behalf of OSNAP Games, I'd like to present to you, well, let's start off by introducing our team. First, the asset lead, Barrett Vasilchek. Our graphics lead, Miguel de la Cruz. Our technical lead, David Electrifying Pasquinelli. And I'm your project lead, Carlos Mijares. And as Wildhouse Games, we'd like to introduce to you Monkey Wings. Now, what is Monkey Wings? The best way to explain it is just to run a simulation through a playthrough that you would have in the game. Let's start. I want you guys to sit back, relax, close your eyes, and imagine yourselves flying an airplane. And you're flying above the blue sea, on the clear blue sky. On the far right, you see an island. And you start to fly towards that island and increasing your throttle. See, you can control that plane like any other plane. But that's not what makes Monkey Wings so special. What makes Monkey Wings so great are tricks. Now let's get back to the cockpit. You see a bright green button on the cockpit for some reason, and you can't help but press it. But the moment you press it and hold it, all the controls change. You can't control the plane the way you used to, no. But you're determined to find out why that button's there. So you hold it, and you start playing around with the flight stick. You start moving in different ways, and you move it twice to the left. You start rotating the plane twice. Oh, you did a slow roll, the plane just twists around. And you know how you did a slow roll? Because it shows off. Slow roll, you get like 1 million points. Yes. So you start experimenting with new tricks, left and right, left, right, left, whatever, all the time. So you're flying through the island, just enjoying tricks and discovering new moves. But then you notice that at the top, there's a giant number, and it's counting down, and there's only 10 seconds left. So you start to freak out. You don't want to leave. You want to do tricks for the rest of your life. Come on, skip bathroom breaks. Who cares? Life, whatever. But you begin to notice as you finally open your eyes, because why are you flying with your eyes closed? You look crazy. You notice that there are rings around. And you notice that if you fly through those rings, you may be able to play a little longer. So you start aiming at the closest ring. And you start flying towards it, faster and faster. There's only 5 seconds left, but your aim isn't quite right, so you miss it. But then you remember that there's a hammerhead trick, which you can press throw up, throw down, and yaw left, which turns you around 180 degrees, exactly where the ring is, and you fly through with 1 second left, and now you have more time to do more tricks to get a better score. Woo! And that, my friends, is the feeling of Monkey Wings. Now, why would you want to do all this? Well, to talk about the goal of the game and why it's so fun, here's Barrett Vasilchek.
Thank you, Carlos. Well, my name's Barrett, and Carlos told you some reasons what you would do in Monkey Wings, how you'd fly around. Now I'm going to tell you some really cool things that you can do with those maneuvers. Now, while playing Monkey Wings is not like a normal flight game, how a normal pilot would fly, but you are a member of the elite flight squadron Monkey Wings. These guys are crazy. Normal flight is boring for them. They have to be doing crazy aerobatic stunts, flying as fast as possible. They even fly through rings. Who does that? Well, anyways, when they try to do this, they're very competitive. They're trying to get the high score. Also, they're also trying to fight to see who can earn the best medals, who gets the shiniest gold medal. Along with this, they got bored and they had to think up of new ways to fly, basically 3 different modes. With these modes, their first mode is called arcade mode. Basically, arcade mode, these pilots, they just fly around, try to show off all their fancy tricks, get the highest score. There's one problem, the time is ticking down. What they must do to compensate for this is fly through rings to get more time. Now next mode is a little bit more simpler. It's called free flight mode. Basically, sometimes the pilots like to kick back, relax, fly the old school way. It's not as fun, a little primitive, but you don't have to worry about any rules or limitations. Now their next mode is called ring mode. This is where they just went bananas. Basically, they scrap doing tricks. They're just worried about going fast as possible through every ring, getting the best time ever. And that is what makes Monkey Wings fun. Basically, us together, 4 guys, crazy, obsessed with making awesome games. We put together the rings, flying around doing tricks, time ticking down, and basically, when that is all put together, ladies and gentlemen, you get an amazing game called Monkey Wings. Now, I'm going to pass it off to my good friend Miguel de la Cruz to tell you about what he worked on in Monkey Wings.
Thank you, Barrett. And yes, I am Miguel de la Cruz, the graphics lead for this project. And I was the guy responsible for making things show up on the screen, like so. I accomplished, I did many things in the project, and most of those things are there. Well, some of them anyway. Well, the most fun I had of these tasks was the menu system, which I'll be focusing on today. The menu system could be best described as rubbery. The buttons have a distinct, playful look. For instance, when the mouse cursor, like that little, yeah, when that little thing gets closer to the buttons, they get bigger and the buttons get bigger and brighter and look as if they want to be clicked on. That's great. Depending on which button you click on, the other buttons create a wave, like people do, like the crowds do in football stadiums, like, I get clicked on. And well, the menus were lengthening, but it was fun working on the menus. And I hope the menus are as fun to look at as they were for me to make. And I will now pass it off to the electrifying Pascale.
Thank you, Miguel. I'm David Pascanelli, the tech lead for Monkey Wings, and part of my responsibilities as tech lead was to work on the trick detection system, the collision detection system, the camera AI, and the world object. And I'm going to talk specifically about the world object for a minute. The world object basically organizes all the objects in the world and makes sure that they all get updated, and also optimizes collision detection to make it feasible for a game in a large outdoor environment. And to do that, we use a technique called spatial hashing. The spatial hashing just takes every point in the world and assigns a code to it. And that code is stored in a data structure called a hash table. And so at any point in the game, a moving object, such as the aircraft, can compute the same code for its position and reference in that table all the geometry that's near it. So what this basically boils down to is the world is sliced up into cubes, and when you want to check whether or not you're crashing into the ground, for instance, all you have to do is know what cube you're in, the aircraft, and you know what objects you need to test for collision with. And now to tell you a little bit about what he did on the project, I'm going to pass it off to Barrett.
All right, thank you, David. I'm Barrett again. On Monkey Wings, I was actually the asset lead, so I got to work with all of the audio guys, art guys, help get stuff in the game. But there's one of these tasks that I really enjoyed the most, was basically creating effects for the game. Now, as you can see up on the screen over here, there's a smoke trail coming from the plane. This is something called a particle effect. And also, we have smoke coming out of the volcano. Now, a particle effect is just basically like you have a set of markers and you can draw up on their pretty shiny pictures and make everything sparkle. Now, the reason I really enjoy doing this for Monkey Wings is because, first of all, we wanted to create a very fun game to play. But if a fun game isn't fun to look at, then it can steal away some of the fun of that game. So I also wanted to create a game that was also fun to look at, and I really enjoyed making these effects. And now I'm going to pass it off to Carlos Mejeras to tell you about what he did in Monkey Wings.
Thank you, Barrett. All right. Well, as project lead, I had several responsibilities in and outside of code. But something I like to focus on specifically is level design. Now, when we start working on level design, we're talking about tracks in Monkey Wings. Now, originally, we were using a program called Blender. Now, essentially what we did was we copied the level that we had in the game and we put it on Blender. And then we could just mess around with it. We could add stuff to it. So we started adding planes. And these planes would represent the rings that would show up in the game. But there was kind of a problem. And the bottom line, it kind of sucked. Because, seriously, we had to position the world in the right place. That, like, they had to match both in the game and in Blender. And then you had to position the planes that represented the rings, and it took a very, very long time. And we figured if we're going to keep doing it this way, we're just not going to get enough tracks in the game. So we decided to just keep it simple. What we did was we start flying the plane around, right? And then whenever you press a button, that's where a ring would show up. It's, of course, a little bit more complicated than that. Basically, it takes the position of the plane, like over there, as you see. That's the button. Yay! There you go. Okay, the position of the place right here, right? We press the button here, or we can press the button here. And then it would save that position and where the plane is looking at into a file. The next time you play that track, that's where the rings show up, exactly in that position. So it basically became a lot easier to do tracks because you could fly through the level and add tracks, and we knew the player could fly through them because we did them that way. And then we start focusing less on how to make the code work for level tracks and start focusing on level design, such as making beautiful tracks for the ring mode that you could fly through, or separating the rings from each other so you're enticed to the tricks in arcade mode. Well, now to shift gears a little bit, we're going to talk about what we learned as a team, and for that, it's David.
Game Carlos. We learned a lot of things on this project. Obviously, it's a final project. We learned more things than I could say for this entire presentation. But a few of the main things that we learned is, one, as a team, and I think also individually, we all work best under pressure, which is a bad thing. We should work best up front so we don't have to work under tight time constraints. And it really made the project more painful in spots than it needed to be. We also learned that, if bad things happen, which a lot of bad things happened in this project, that you still have to just keep on going. We lost a teammate, we lost our art director, Barrett broke his arm, all our computers broke at some point. But we just kept on making the game, and it turned out really good. And I'm going to just pass it off to Barrett to go over some credits.
All right, thank you. I just want to thank some of the people that helped make Monkey Wings possible. First of all of our wonderful staff, the GP Games staff. We'd especially like to thank our EPs, Liam Hislop and Jason Hinders. And also, we'd like to thank our art directors. We actually have two art directors, Brad Acree, and then we also have Chris Ducati. Also, I'd like to thank our audio staff. We'd like to thank all of our OSNAP brothers and sister. And also, we'd like to thank one of our team members, James Militello. He was with us in the beginning, but due to an unfortunate accident, wasn't able to continue, but he helped this game become what it is today in the design process. We'd really like to give props out to him. Also, we'd like to thank all of our wives, girlfriends, friends, family, everyone who came to this presentation, everyone who helped us be here today. We want to thank you. Also, we want to thank all of our digital arts and design students. We'd also like to thank Grim Fandango for some of the music in our game, and Sonic for the ring sounds. We'd also like to thank Street Fighter 2. We'd like to thank Lazy Moon Pizza, the Black Chairs in Fullsail 3B, Sid Millspa, and Deja Vu. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. We're going to get a good show for you. Just hold on, and we're going to show you Monkey Wings. All right, you hear that sweet music playing in the background? That came from our audio guys. This is our studio name, Oh Snap Games. We are Wildhouse Games, and here to present to you Monkey Wings. All right, now this is the menu system that Miguel was talking to you about. Very playful, the buttons come to you when you click on them. Now we're gonna go into options. All right, we got some good options here. Music volume, brighten up a little bit. That looks good. All right. Now he's going to go to the start. Now we have 3 game modes. On the bottom right here, it actually shows you what this mode is. Gives a little description about what the objective of that mode is. We're going to start off with arcade mode right now. Again, that's where you fly through rings, do tricks, try to get the highest score while the time is counting down. All right, now we have 3 different difficulties. We got the beginner, advanced, and expert, but we're going to start off with beginner for the demo. All right, you can pick 2 different planes, but we're going to pick the little plane for arcade mode. All right, let's start up. This screen right here just tells you what the goals of the mode is again. You can press space when you're ready. This is a little fly-through of the track, so you kind of know what you're going through ahead of time. You can skip it if you like. If it finishes, you start out at the beginning. All right, when the counter goes down, you're able to control the plane. You can fly around. This thing right here on the bottom is the nearest ring indicator. Basically tells you where the closest ring is. Over here we have a little HUD, it shows the rings spinning around. That shows you how many rings you got out of the total amount of rings. Up here your time is ticking down because we're in arcade mode. We got your speed up over here. Also our score is up here. So we don't really have any score yet. So we need to do some tricks so we can get some points. Alright. Now as you do tricks, your stress over here goes up. And when your stress goes up, you actually lose control of the plane if you get full stress. Basically, he's racking up the points right now trying to get a medal. Because you need at least a bronze medal to pass the arcade track. He just got stressed, so his plane's shaking and he can't have any control over it right now. Alright? Just flying around. He's going to go up to the rest of these rings. I think he's going to finish up the track. Alright, doing a little knife edge flight move. You can also add combos with the game so you get extra points when you mix tricks together. Alright, he got the bronze medal, so we get a little applause from the audience in the game. Woo! Alright! Alright, David, let's show him how it's done. Finish up that track. Alright, also the nearest ring has a nice particle effect to let you know. Alright, it's adding up the bonus. Also, if you finish with extra time, you get a bonus. Alright, now we can move on to the next track. This one's a little bit more difficult. Alright. Alright, we're going to this is the pause menu right here. It actually tells you again what the objective of the mode you're in. We're actually going to go back to the main menu and show off some different modes. Okay. We're going to show off the ring mode now. Now ring mode is basically like a race to get through every single ring in the least amount of time. Okay, start up ring mode, David. Okay, I think we're going to try the advanced track for this one. Now each track actually has a different look. You'll get to see how this track looks now. Okay? We're actually going to pick the big yellow plane for this track. Once again, telling you the objective. courses are all at nighttime, so it's a different look to the level. It's the same level, but it's just a different look and feel to it. Basically, it's just trying to fly through these rings. You're just going to fly through rings and go through. If you miss a ring is where you mess up, because you'll have to go back and get that ring, because the only way to complete ring mode is to actually collect every single ring. Now this level has 119 rings, so that's quite a challenge. We're actually on the expert track, so we're probably not going to be able to get to show you it, but we're going to fly in by the island under the bridge at least, show you some of that. Now in ring mode, the score does not matter. You'll notice there's no HUD up on the top left. You just have your time, your speed, and your stress, and how many rings you got. All right. Now you can do tricks in ring mode, but they do not give you any points. You can use them if you want to just show off or do some fancy maneuvering to help you get other rings. Now this is the island. We also have a volcano in it. It has like some nice smoke coming out of it. Basically the island's pretty peaceful. Just a little beach, mountains. David's gonna go kamikaze here, I think. Oh, okay. Alright, yeah. If you crash in ring mode, it's game over. Alright, we're gonna go back to the main menu. Oh, okay, we failed. We actually have to skip. Alright, this is also our in-game help when you press F1. This shows you the basic controls of the game. This is for if you're using a joystick, before it was a keyboard. This is the trick list. Basically, you hold down spacebar while you're doing a trick and do any of these combinations, and you can do all those different types of tricks. Okay, I think we're going to go back to the main menu. Alright, last but not least, we're going to show off free flight mode. And we're actually going to pick, now the difficulties don't really matter in free flight, but they do show you a different look to the level. So we're going to show you expert since we haven't shown you that one. Yeah, you like that. This is not for noobs. Alright, I guess we're going to pick this one. Alright, now this is a nice daytime. Also, we do have like a reflection going on showing the sky off in the water as well. This mode, you just do what you want. Be peaceful, fly around, practice doing tricks if you want. The only thing that will stop you is if you crash, but then you'll be able to restart if you like. You can just fly around the island, fly through rocks, go through the bridge, do what you want. Go chill at the beach if you like, fly over the bridge. Also in this game, we kind of have a reflection of the plane if you fly over the water. David might show that off. Alright. Oh, he crashed and we went back to the main menu. Alright, now I guess we're going to show the credits. Now these credits are a little bit interesting. Normally the credits of the game feature the people who made the game, but we were so humble that we only wanted to thank those who helped us make the game. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Monkey Wings. I hope you enjoyed. All right. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask us tonight? All right. Frosty in the back.
You guys might put this on the arcade machine. I'm supposed to play it. Yeah, okay.
Hold on. Let me give this to David.
The answer is no, we don't plan on putting it on the arcade machine, but we could probably get you a copy if you're really stoked to play it. Any other questions? Back there in the blue.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why you chose to feature the camera tricks, the tricks, I'm sorry, from a different camera view than the regular basic gameplay camera.
The question was why we chose to show the tricks from a different camera point of view as opposed to just the regular camera, and the answer is to make them look cool. That's basically it. There are some problems with it affecting control badly, but that's kind of the risk of doing tricks. So we balanced it. We feel we balanced it pretty well. Right there.
Hey, did you guys have like a motion path for your camera when you're doing your tricks, or yeah, like, so the actual movement that the camera followed, was it based on a motion path, or was it like, how did you guys handle that?
The question was how we did the camera. Basically, the camera follows the aircraft. The camera's pulled by the aircraft, basically, and it's clamped to be within a sphere, so it doesn't ever get too far away from the aircraft. And the camera just pulls back as the throttle goes up. So yeah, that's basically it. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Back there?
Are these smoke rings? Because it didn't appear that there was any penalty for hitting the side of them, or maybe it was my perception as I was watching.
Yeah, the question was, could you just fly through the side of the rings? And yeah, you could. Basically, we just approximated the collision with the rings. It would have been nice to scale the rings up a little more so that they fit the approximation better, but we didn't want a penalty for hitting the rings because we thought that was too harsh, because you're already running down on time. So I don't think we would have ever had it be that you get a penalty for hitting the side of the rings. Does that answer your question? Any other questions? Okay.
It looked like your plane was maybe cell shaded and the rest of the terrain wasn't beside the rings. Like, what gave you the idea, or how did that work?
The question was, you said it looked like the plane and the rings were cell shaded, but the rest of the terrain wasn't, and why we chose to do that. Basically, we wanted to give the gameplay elements, make them stand out, give them something to stand out. And they're actually not cell shaded, there's just an outline being drawn behind them, and they're being rendered without any lighting. So it was really, the reason was just to make them stand out, I guess. Any other questions? Okay. No, it's vertex and pixel shader. Basically, there's a separate matrix that represents a previous matrix that gets passed to the shader, and for each vertex, you find the distance between the point based on the current matrix and the point based on the previous matrix, and based on how far away that is, you just add to the alpha. Back there, I think you had your hand up first.
Nice game. Do you guys have plans for public distribution, and if so, how so?
Well, we don't really have any plans. We actually, the question was, do we have any plans for public distribution? And if we do, what are they? And we honestly haven't really thought about that much. That's something that we're going to discuss later. We've really just been working on the project, trying to get it done. Right there.
Did you choose a script for positioning of the you or actually not? Because I thought that was pretty handy when you actually figured it out there. That's the part that you put positioning in. I heard you say that you guys wrote it out the font. Is that scripted?
The question was, do we use XML or any kind of scripting to place the rings? And the answer is we just write out a text file, an ASCII text file. And then each difficulty, beginner, advanced, and expert, represents a certain number of tracks. So then we've got another file that says which tracks are actually used for that course. And it's just a plain ASCII text file, which could be bad because somebody could edit them, but the tracks themselves, they don't really look like anything, so it would be a bad idea to edit them. Any other questions? All right, thank you.